Hello and welcome to Naija's Geeking Out, your source for a Naija perspective on current events in the comic geek world. This is episode 120, if I am not mistaken.
You are mistaken. 119.
119. I was one off. I don't know. Someone said 120 and I wrote it down.
I did. So it was my fault. I did actually. Yes.
Okay. All right then. So this is live, so no do-overs. Therefore, we will just take that on the chin. This is episode 119, a very special episode in which we will talk about a very special movie. I am Olawale, and with me, as usual, are Red, Tunde, Dakpo, and Cakes. Red, how are you doing, bro?
Regular as usual. Glad to be here.
That was a passive-aggressive jab at me, who has not been here for a while, and it rolls right off the shoulder. Straight down to Tunde. How are you, my guy?
I'm awesome. You guys have not been here. You don't know the hierarchy has changed over here.
Speaking of hierarchy changing, I think we might actually discuss that a little bit during this week's podcast. Cakes, how's it going, bro?
I'm good, my man. I'm good. It's good to have you back. Welcome back.
It's good to be back. And then, of course, everyone's favorite host, Dapo. Take it away, bro.
Hey, thanks for that, Wally. And it's nice having you back with us. So for this episode, and just get out there, we're going to talk about Antman. It's going to be the bulk of this episode.
Yeah.
Having said that, I think, and we'll clarify this once we start, that I might be the only person who's not actually seen this movie. I've now know that I will be spoiled, and I've got no choice. I've had surgery, so I'm not mobile at the moment. So hopefully by next week I should be able to see it. But with that said, I'm going to hand over straight away to Kex. Let's get into it.
Over to me. Okay. Right. So we've all seen this apart from you, Dapo.
Yes.
Is that right? So, Red, when did you see this? I think you were actually the first.
No, I saw it on Sunday.
On Sunday. Wale saw it on Monday, I think.
No, I saw it yesterday.
Yes, it was Tuesday. Today you saw it yesterday.
Monday.
You saw it on Monday. I saw it this evening.
Oh, sorry.
I saw it 20 minutes ago. About 20 minutes ago, I just watched it, and now I'm back. First time watching it.
Remember when everybody used to see MCU movies opening nights?
Day one.
Remember those days?
Day one.
Those hallowed days. Oh God, those were the before times. Honestly.
I mean, between the TV shows and the ratings that this has been getting, I've just not been keen. Like, I legit would have watched it today if not for the fact that we're going to talk about this today. Talk about it. But I'm glad I did. Glad I did. So, okay, let's talk about the general plot. So,
right. Sorry, can I stop you before that?
Yeah, fire away.
Are you going to do a general overview of how you guys feel about the film?
Yeah. Okay. Should we go with first person to see it? Red, what was your feel? What was your gut take?
So I went in with very, very low expectations based on the reviews and Rotten Tomato scores. And this might shock you guys. I actually liked it. I do have some niggles, a few,
of course,
MCU-esque complaints, but I liked it. It wasn't as bad as I thought it would be.
Okay.
That is a ringing endorsement, Red. It wasn't as bad as I thought it could be. Put that on the poster.
Today, what was your gut feel?
It was as bad as I thought it could be. But I liked it, actually.
Okay.
That comes with a lot of context. I actually liked the movie, but it comes with a lot of context about it has all the failures of an MCU movie and even more. But it was doing what it was doing, and it was okay for what it was. So I liked it.
Did you watch the first two Ant-Man movies?
Yes, I did.
Okay, where would you rate it in the Ant-Man trilogy?
It's completely different from the first two. It's not the same type of movie as the first two in so many ways.
Okay.
So I think I prefer to Ant-Man 2.
Okay.
But I think Ant-Man 1 hits the
Absolutely. I'll say 1, 3, 2. in terms of ranking.
I'm right there with you. But I want to touch what I was going to touch Wally. So what was your feel of the movie?
What we're seeing here right now, is what certain people would call the soft bigotry of low expectations.
Yeah.
Exactly. Because just like everyone else, I mean, I kind of walked into this thing with low expectations, but let's just call a spade a spade. This is one of the worst MCU movies that I've watched in a very long time. Now, it's not a terrible film.
Okay.
It's not a terrible movie.
Not Love and Thunder.
Yes, it's not.
So you see, Love and Thunder, it's very easy to be like, oh, that's a terrible movie because it's trying so hard to be funny. But I honestly would watch Love and Thunder again before I watch this movie again. This movie is in Love and Thunder, you can see it trying so hard to entertain you and tripping and falling down. So you're like, oh, but this one, it's like somebody just phoned in a position. It's like Lightyear. If you watch that god-awful Pixar movie, that's what it seems like to me. It seems like a movie that was made by committee and was just done by the numbers and had nothing to offer. That is just what it looked like to me. It did not feel like an Ant-Man movie. I rate it at the bottom of all the Ant-Man movies.
Okay.
Somebody said we need to introduce a certain character. Wait, well,
yeah.
Okay. Character, and that's what we did.
Yeah.
All right. So, Kix, what's your view? So,
honestly, it truly wasn't half as bad as I expected. Like, it's, in my opinion, it's not rotten. It's not rotten. Now, you guys have explained this thing to me at least twice now, you and Wally separately, and I still don't get how Rotten Tomatoes works. But
Rotten, it's simple. If a lot of the reviewers give less than 6 over 10.
Okay, less than.
Yeah, less than 6. Yeah. So what I'm saying is, so let's say if there's 10 reviewers.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
If all of them give under 6 over 10.
Yes.
Then it becomes rotten.
Okay.
100% rotten.
But if they give 6.5 over 10,
yes,
all of them, that's 100% fresh.
Okay, then this is definitely fresh because I don't see how this could be less than 6 out of 10.
6 over 10. Okay, let's talk about it.
Right.
Okay,
so can I, as a person who's not watched this film,
yeah.
I am now upset.
Okay.
Because you've raised my expectations now.
Well,
and now I'm going to go and watch it.
I just told you it's the worst MCU movie I've watched in a long time.
But Wally, look, 3 other guys have saying it's not that bad. So now all of a sudden I'm scared.
But did you hear that? Not that bad. They walked in thinking it was 56% rotten. That's what they walked in. So they walked in expecting to have this terrible thing just slam them in the face and commit blasphemy and do terrible things. So they were going in like with their hackles up, ready to fight. And it just turned out to be like a very cookie cutter film. It's like somebody just came along and just narrated one
there's no way
straightforward thing.
There's no way this movie is worse than Love and Thunder. No way.
So what's it?
We'll talk about that in the spoiler section.
Okay,
Love and Thunder is actively bad. This one just doesn't try. This one just does not try.
Make it bad. You know? No, Love and Thunder is offensive. This is not an offensive movie. No. Are you telling me that you never got angry watching Love and Thunder at least twice? It's a bad film. Okay.
Okay. Kex.
Yes.
You're going to give a summary. Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. So we get back to so this is the third Antman movie, and it's Peyton Reed again who's directing it. And we get, I was going to say we get reintroduced, but that's what it is effectively to Scott Lang. He's living his best life. He's known locally as the Avenger who saved the Earth. So, he's getting free coffee, high-fiving people. It starts off with a very jovial feel, and literally just like the trailer, gets his daughter. They go see Hank Pym. Jenna is there. Hope Van Dyne is there, and then they get sucked into the quantum realm. That's it. It's what you saw in the trailer. And then while they're in the quantum realm, they get separated, and then so we're told that there's this. I don't want to call him like an overlord, basically, of the quantum realm, who is here to conquer the quantum realm and has been killing the locals. So we get introduced to Kang. Kang needs Scott to do something for him. yeah, I'm not. That's now we'll talk about that in spoilers. Needs Scott to do something for him. And then after Scott does that, he's promised to send Scott and his family back home. Bish bash bosh. That's it. That's the movie. Now, it's also a really short movie. It sounds like really short.
Do you know something? What you said now sounds like the setup. It's like you were just telling Dakwa the setup. Dakwa, let me tell you, that's the whole film.
Yeah, that's it.
That's what I said. That's the movie.
That's the entire movie.
That's the movie.
Interesting. So Kex, you said it's a short film. What are we talking here? Running time.
Short.
It
feels like it was less than
short. It's 2 hours movie. It's a 2 hours movie.
Oh,
it's 2 hours, bro.
Yeah.
2 hours. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Is it?
Okay.
Is the running time actually 120? Wow. Okay.
We have a comment. Sorry,
not
guys. We have a comment from YouTube from YouTube channel. Nuke says that Kex is talking nonsense. Not sure what that means. Right. Okay. So carry on. Kex.
And that was it. We get the movie. We're not going to talk about the post-credit scenes. And we get introduced to this new big bad. And I want to dive right into the big bad because that's the plot essentially now of the movie. And I want to talk about Jonathan Majors as Kang. And I don't know if you've read the comic books. Honestly, for me, even in the comic books, Kang is one of those really confusing villains.
Yep, I agree.
Because I know you and Red are really big timey-wimey. Oh, okay. No, if he went back in time, then his mom marries his uncle, but really, that's his gate man. I'm like, I don't really once it starts getting too convoluted like that, I'm like, I don't get this. And I've never really understood his shtick. It's like, oh, sometimes I go backwards, sometimes I go forwards. I don't understand what the grand plan is here. And this is where I prefer Thanos, because Thanos was quite clear, in the movies at least, that, okay, he was mad, but he was clear that, okay, I want to halve the population of, the galaxy so that there'll be more. It's a mad plan, but it's clear. This one, I don't quite understand what his plan is, and we'll talk about it more in spoilers.
Okay.
But Jonathan Majors as Kang, I loved it. He was doing his thing. It wasn't anything special. He has this. He'll be like, Scott Lang.
Cakes.
Did I kill you? Like he does it in almost all the movies that he's done.
Cakes.
Yeah, sorry, go on.
That guy,
yes,
was the best thing
agree.
About this movie. He's the reason why I'm not just straight up coming in and saying that this is a garbage film. He was the best thing about this movie, and I'll be honest with you, his performance as Kang makes me hopeful for his appearance in a better movie later on. He was the best thing about the movie, but he was also the worst thing about the movie.
Exactly.
And I will tell you the reason why he's the worst thing about the movie in spoilers.
I was about to jump in there and say the exact same thing.
Oh yeah, there is a 3-letter word I can say right now today, but I just don't want to say it because of
wait, have I
spoilers.
effectively touched on it when I talked about the time thing? Is it the time thing? Or the
no. Once we get to spoilers, then I'll say one word and you'll know.
So as a villain or as an arc villain, is he better than Thanos? Who was the guy that acted Thanos again?
Josh Brolin.
Brolin.
I would say it's very hard to answer that question without addressing the fact that this movie was the wrong movie to introduce him in. That character that we saw, I think, challenges Thanos in terms of intensity, poise, power, the performance.
Yes, for sure.
It's almost like you cry tears of, oh God, what a wasted opportunity, because if he had been introduced in a movie with the caliber of Infinity War and had put out this performance within the same context that Josh Brolin puts in the Thanos performance in Infinity War, if he had put in this performance in that kind of better movie, we would right now be having absolute debates.
I think
it would be really hard to decide.
I think the word they're looking for is that
I know where I would fall if it was done that way.
I
would be on his side absolutely. I think Jonathan Majors killed it in this role.
Exactly. This is a wasted performance because when we get to spoilers, I'll explain why.
Sorry, Red, you were saying something?
I said, so comparing him to Josh Brolin and Thanos, they're both believable as villains. Like, their intent, their
Okay.
intensity. That's the word. I mean, you can believe.
Can I ask a question?
Intensity.
Yeah.
Can I ask
Go
a
ahead.
question? Not having seen it. One of the things I like about Thanos was he was not an outright, oh, he's just evil. You know, he came across as somebody who believed in what he was doing.
They nailed it.
That's what I love about the portrayal of this guy here.
Oh, okay, good, great. Thank you, guys.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I think this guy is just evil.
We'll talk about
No.
that.
He is. Same with Thanos.
That's the
Thanos
believable
is
part.
also just evil. But the difference here is that the thing is the performance. You can see he believes in what he did. The difference is that unlike him, no one called Thanos out on his bullshit properly. Gamora did a bad job of it. But Thanos really was talking shit, if you think about it. But he wasn't properly called out on it. Someone did a better job of calling out Kang.
Okay.
And even that. Okay. And even that.
Let's save that for spoilers.
Right.
Some thoughts about this movie. I was supposed to finish this movie, but I don't, because for me, I think I use the description a lot when we're talking about the movies in the chat, that it's a Saturday morning cartoon show with everything that entails. So the exact way you pass around plots and messages in the Saturday morning show, where you ignore logic and consequences,
it was an episode.
Message at all.
It was an episode of Birdman. Do you remember Birdman?
Exactly.
From NTA back on Nigerian TV.
What was the
Oh my god!
Okay.
Avenger was the name of his
Avenger.
Come, Avenger! Let us fly to defeat the bad guys.
Yeah.
Oh my
god! If you
god!
watch this movie with that mindset you immediately are able to discard whatever you see as a fault of the movie and just say, they are actively going for this particular field. They are actively going for this particular tool. It is made for 5-year-olds and below. It's not made for anybody that is going to think about the movie in any serious way at all. Just watch it.
But you know something.
I think that's a bit harsh.
You know something, Tunde. In a world where Rick and Morty exists, right, and where hundreds of people have watched Rick and Morty and understand it, there's no excuse for the crap that this film did. You know,
it's a family adventure movie. I don't think you were going for logic or trying to explain.
No, I don't know. I'm sorry. What are the? Are you going to touch on these logic gaps? Because because the thing is, this isn't the first time that we've gotten these. Like, we get these all the time in Marvel movies. So I'm wondering,
true. Okay, so if we're talking about big logic gaps, there were many of them, but that started with Loki, so we don't care, right? It's like you come up with your random rules and we'll just go with it. I'm not talking about that kind of logic fail. I'm talking about the story just doing things in a convenient way and just completely ignoring stuff that it said a few moments ago, just so that it can move its story forward. You know, it's hard to talk about it without spoilers, so I won't. But basically, it's a kind of thing where you say, "Oh, this is how this particular thing works," but then the next scene you need it not to work that way, so you just ignore that. You know, and then you tell a joke, so we all forget.
So, guys, in the comments, and I want to ask the question based on the comments. There's a lot of discussion in the comments about the CGI, the effects. So I just want an opinion from you guys.
Okay,
was it very bad or was it good?
Red, do you want to take it?
That was I don't want to use the word basic, but doesn't wow you, doesn't blow you away. I mean, there was nothing new, and I think the CGI was a letdown.
Okay.
In the world where you just finished watching Avatar,
I mean, don't do that. Don't do that.
Yeah, so that's the thing. Like,
I have to do that because I watched Avatar in 3D, and then I went to go and watch this film in 3D as well. I didn't realize it was 3D.
Tunde, you did that to yourself. Avatar has ruined Star Wars for me, and it also kind of ruined this film. This film didn't impress me visually.
Right. So can I say something though? And I've not seen the film, but in a way, I come back where Tunde's coming from, because when I watched the trailer, there's one scene that I saw, and this is where the original Wasp, was gliding on some kind of manta,
Yeah.
and splashing the water. That scene reminded me of Avatar. And I thought, oh, are they going to go for like an Avatar-like look
No,
and effect?
sorry, that one. You did that to yourself.
That's what
Yourself.
so the Avatar bar is so high. I wouldn't even
Who-
compare.
It's like someone plays football in secondary school, and then you're comparing him to someone that plays it in the Olympics.
To Ronaldo. I mean,
This guy literally, Cameron doesn't do movies over 2 years. 4 years. That's like the guy's like, no.
That being said,
It's just
for the first part of the movie, I enjoyed the world building up to a point. Yeah, seeing the animals flying and all of that.
But see, I had a problem with that world building, though.
No, as in I'm ignoring I'm just looking at it as on a visual basis. That so animals flying. It reminded me of why I liked Star Wars in the first place.
It was very Star Wars-esque.
When I watched Avatar, I just thought this is why
lazy.
I watched it. I thought this is where Star Wars has been failing for so long.
Yeah.
This movie captures what the modern Star Wars films just completely failed to capture. You know, it made me understand that Star Wars is crap now.
It's very interesting.
It's hurting Marvel as well.
That you said about Star Wars, because Peyton Reed is actually being tipped to direct a Star Wars movie. So this was his audition. This was his audition reel, basically.
Cakes. Are we allowed to talk about that yet? Because man, I don't know when we can get to the spoiler bit, because you're touching on one of my biggest problems with the movie right now.
Okay. Definitely, let's note it. Then the CG to what the person said and what Red responded, it's basic.
Okay.
There was nothing, in my opinion, special about it or offensive about it. So even there's a particular character that the CG is really bad, but it's a character that is very difficult to and I want to. Yeah, I don't think this is...
I know who you're talking about anyway.
He added nothing to the plot.
Okay, before we go to spoilers, I mean, is there I've got a question I want to ask.
Yeah.
And I'm on record. You guys know how I feel about Paul Rudd. I'm a big fanboy.
Amazing. Listen, amazing.
Yes. Is he?
He was amazing.
There was one scene where he pulled off a feat which I really think was amazing. Unless they were assisting him with AI or something, that particular scene, the acting that was required to pull off that scene, I gave him 2 thumbs up. Yeah, so that was great.
You know what? Yeah. I'm now happy to go watch this film. I don't even care anything else. I don't. Okay, good.
That's all you care about.
Okay. One last question.
Yeah.
And this is a question based on my hopes for the future.
Yeah.
I liked both Ant-Man 1. I liked Ant-Man 2. One of the greatest things I liked, especially in 2, is the daughter. The young daughter that they used in 2. She had this kind of inner sass.
Okay.
You know, and obviously they've recasted the character twice now. So this is the third version of somebody playing this role. Please, and the way today shaking head, already I'm scared to even ask this question. Please.
One of my
my God, she is the template for the worst. Oh, sorry, Red, you're talking.
I said one of my major gripes was around her. There was a moment where I'm like, no, please, no.
So wait.
Wale, please go.
Yeah, she's a temp. You know, it's like Tunde. What Tunde says when he says prodigies. She is like a box ticking exercise of the worst elements of prodigies. You know how much shade I had for Riri Williams.
Yeah.
I wasn't one of those who hated Ray. Ray's okay, but this one, she's bad. But unfortunately, she's not. Unfortunately, she's not aggressively bad, so she's not going to do anything crazy like have some sort of weird scene where she does some sassy thing.
She did.
She's just aggressively mediocre, and on top of that, it's just like they said, okay, there's a list of things that these prodigies should do. Okay, do this better than that. Do this.
No, so Wale, are you talking about the script? I'm talking about her as an actress.
Oh, she had nothing to work with, so I'm just talking about the character right now.
Okay.
So, yeah.
And I guess nobody disagrees with what Wale just said.
What did you want to say?
My description was she's a Gen Z prodigy. She talks like that. She acts like that. everything is just
They
Just-
just
just ignore it and move on.
they just reloaded Hawkeye's what's her name?
Yeah.
Kate
Bishop.
Uh,
No,
Oh,
they,
Kate
they,
Bishop.
they did a version of Kate Bishop that has no personality.
exactly.
Yeah.
Oh,
'cause-
wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
you know, it's not necessarily as if she. I wouldn't say she doesn't have a personality, but she's annoying. She's
Oh,
entitled.
God.
She's annoying. She's a brat.
Oh, God.
They try to walk it back in certain bits for her to be lovey-dovey, but she blames her dad for not being around subtly, and it's very annoying because it's not as if the guy went to Indiana to go and hook up with his other family. He was in the fucking quantum realm for 5 years, came back, and the first person he thought of was you, and you're still chipping away at him, and she consistently blames the man for stuff like you're not
Okay.
standing up. Not do it. She's really annoying. She's very offensive. She's very annoying. No,
Okay.
no,
Okay.
no.
She
Cassie
has a B plot that
is annoying.
just
That is-
to
oh.
be very subtle about it is almost like it was written by people who had multicolored hair that's shaved
Yep.
on the side.
Yes, exactly that. 100%.
I'm gonna take away a point
Your
movie.
video.
for what you just reminded me. Yes, for that broadcast, I'm going to take away a point.
Right.
Also,
He's
before we
annoying.
move on to spoilers, for you
Yeah.
guys.
So yeah, is there anything else before you go deep
Yeah.
into spoilers?
Yeah, before we move on, this is one question. This is the start of phase 5. So for
Yes.
you guys, do you think this is a good start? Are you more hopeful for what comes in future or less?
It's tough.
I have to say that this movie is making me seriously worried for the MCU. Seriously, because it seems to me that what made this movie so bad was an attempt to start to project manage the universe. And that should be the thing that improves MCU movies. And it made this movie aggressively, well, let me not say aggressively bad because you guys like it so much. I don't want to hurt your feelings. But it made this movie mediocre. It's almost like rather than improving the movie, the need for it to sort of be in line with the movies that are going to follow it hurt the movie. And I think if the MCU's planning can have such terrible judgment fails of something so important as introducing the series Big Bad and make such massive blunders, considering all the failures that we've already had to deal with in the previous phase, I am really worried. And right now, I'm just not excited for the new movies that are coming out. I'm going to think that they're going to be bad first and they have to surprise me.
Okay.
I'll take a
sorry.
mid. Oh, so they want to go? Oh, I can go.
No, go ahead.
I'll take a midway view to that. So I had the same sentiments, but when I saw the post-credit scenes, I'm like, okay, I can be hopeful, but cautious optimism.
Okay.
If the quality remains the same, then it's a no-go. But there's so much to be done there with what they've laid out. I think it could be exciting. Again, this is being hopeful. But I don't know, cautious optimism.
Okay.
I'm not like yay phase 5.
Today.
Yeah, I'm not. The way they handle the main villain in this movie makes me lose all hope in how they're going to handle him forward. And it makes it very difficult for me to see how they're going to redeem him going forward to that particular, because this is the second appearance we are seeing for him. Mm-hmm. And this is the second appearance that I'll talk about more of that in the spoilers, but it's like
3-letter words today. 3-letter word.
Yeah. So it's like, I can't see how you are going to build an entire phase of movies around this kind of characters. And then the post-credit scene didn't really help matter, because now there's a famous
spoilers. Let's take it to spoilers.
Yeah, I'll take that back to spoilers as well then. But overall, as starting the phase 5, this is not a big improvement for me from phase 4. And it didn't do well to sell the idea of a main villain for phase 5. So I'm not expecting for a lot in phase 5. But what it has done, it has recalibrated my expectations for Marvel movies going forward. Like,
you have to throw that in.
I have to. I already hate Marvel movies in general, but now I have to go in with even lower expectations and just expect Sunday morning cartoons and watch them and ignore all glaring flaws.
Okay.
So, yeah.
It's
But it's
like
not
the
the
movies.
it's not okay.
So
Sorry.
go on, Cakes. Go on, Cakes.
No, Tunde says he hates most Marvel movies or Marvel movies in general, but that's bullshit because you hate superhero movies in general because Marvel movies are better than DCU. And if you can hate Marvel movies, then you can't possibly like DCU movies. It's not possible. That was just beef.
Some
So
specific
no,
Marvel
yours is beef. So,
okay.
I just want to make that clear.
It's beef,
It's like they heard Martin Scorsese's criticisms and they decided to actually go ahead and do what he said, be what they said, what he said they were.
They're doing, yeah.
Listen, I didn't think Ant-Man 3, sorry, was a good way to even kick off a whole phase. It was, the Ant-Man movies aren't anchor movies. They are popcorn, relaxing movies that you rest your brain and you just watch. And there's the bad guy that comes and disappears. You get the ghost and the yellow jacket. So I don't think that's the best way to start it. But clearly they wanted to introduce us to the quantum realm, which I assume, and the possibility of multiverses, which I assume are multiversal travel, which I assume is going to have impact across the entire phase. We're going to Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars. I've never been a big Kang fan at all. And multiverses just scare me a little because your writing has to be Hickman tight to do that. They mentioned incursions a few times. They mentioned everything dies. I was like, these were clearly, Easter eggs for, the comic book readers. And I was like, okay, that's fair. But I wasn't moved because, again, I was like, it's Ant-Man. What's the real threat? Is it a great start to phase 5? No, it is not. I'll just say that it is by far not.
Okay.
It's a nothing movie, I would say. It just serves for the introduction of the character of Kang, and not the one.
It's almost like they needed to start phase 5 and they were like, which movie is the next one to come out? Oh, it's Ant-Man. All right, Ant-Man people, you have to start phase 5, do it. So they created something that is completely different from an Ant-Man movie. It's not an Ant-Man movie. It's a discount Star Wars movie, a fake Star Wars movie by people who watched the cantina scenes in Star Wars.
But I will say something here and we'll talk about it in spoilers. I think if they tweaked the ending, they changed that ending, this would have been a fantastic start to the phase 5.
Tunde, I have to challenge that. And let me tell you why I challenge that. Yeah. I understand that the ending seemed like it was supposed to be something else, and then they created a crap, weak version of it. But in my mind, it was like the only way they can save this movie is to do this. And even then, it will still not make sense. What you're hoping they did would not make sense because the rest of the movie doesn't make sense.
Okay, guys.
Let's take it to spoilers. Let's raise it.
Or do we have any non-spoiler questions, Tapo?
No, I don't think any of my questions now probably border on. I mean, there's a comment in the chat, and I'll put a comment to you guys now, so you guys give a view on what this person is saying. So Peter Thomas Akinbami is saying that you guys have been talking about the daughter as the worst thing.
She's bad.
He thinks that none of us are talking about Janet. And I think he's got a certain beef about something she did not do.
That was that thing that she didn't do.
Yes.
And it's until we get to spoilers that we'll talk about it. It was aggressively stupid. And it's a trope that TV movies have just kind of left behind because everyone can see it's a very daft plot device.
Okay.
But it was just one thing. It was just one thing that made zero sense that it shouldn't do it, and even contradicts the previous movies as well. Okay. So it was just like a plot hole. So it wasn't really the character per se. The daughter, she was just aggressively terrible, like from the start to the end. Aggressively mediocre, sorry.
Okay. So guys, I think
let's rate one thing we used to do before rating. The box office predictions. We made some predictions. We want to add our values. Kex, what was our prediction for the movie?
So, Red was 700 million. Today was 700 million. That one was 1 billion.
Sorry, Kex. Are you sure I said 1 billion?
I'm looking at it here.
Maybe your audio was bad. Are you sure your audio was not bad that day?
You said 1 billion.
A bit.
I said 650. I said 650. And I know you don't believe me, so I'll send you a photo. And then we also made some predictions about some people that would die in the movie. That's how I know that it's not that particular movie. But okay. We'll touch on that in spoilers. Okay, so do we want to give it out of our typical 5-star rating?
Yeah.
Red? I know you were thinking about it just.
No, I'm not thinking it's a 3.
Okay. Today?
2.5. Or
Okay.
Just
2.4.
just go lower than I did always.
Okay, 2.5. Wally?
3 stars, but it feels like too much.
Yeah.
6 over 10, 5.5 over 10, I think.
Okay.
So 2.275. 2.275.
Yeah. I'm gonna give it a 3-star. I'm close to giving it 2 because of a particular scene that Wally reminded me, but it's a 3-star movie. There's nothing really so offensive about this movie, but it's a 3-star movie. Okay.
Yeah, it's not aggressively bad like Thor, but it's mediocre.
Yes, it's mid. Okay.
Spoilers.
Right. So for everybody listening, watching and listening this time round, we are now going into spoilers territory. If you've not seen the film and you don't want to be spoiled, Oga, please go now. Go now. Even me now. I'm not sure how I'm going to handle this. I might take my headphones off.
Okay, take your headphones off because you have to tell us what people are saying.
So I might get spoiled by the comments, which is fine. So from now on, I'll let you guys debate. I won't get into this discussion.
Okay.
But I'll be feeding you the comments from YouTube. Okay.
Okay.
Excellent.
All right. 3, 2, 1.
Spoilers.
Wally, what was it that you wanted to say about
the 3-letter word? The 3-letter word. JOB. Why would you job your big bad Antman? Why would you create this incredible villain and turn him into a jobber? It is beyond belief.
The hero.
It is the most stupid
It
thing
is
I've
daft. You've just ruined all the mystique of the rest of the series.
Like, this is a character that Ant-Man could beat and slam him down like Hulk was slamming.
It's when
your time.
When you talk. I mean, he talked about defeating all the Avengers countless times in multiple timelines.
Yeah.
He used his voice. He talked about, he couldn't even remember Thor's name because he killed him so many times. Right? No, really. And not only that, in the scene when he's doing that, he literally defeats Ant-Man by just raising his finger, a flick of the wrist. And Ant-Man is just frozen and can't do anything. We're given the impression that this guy can control time. And then what happens?
Sorry. One second, Wally. But it is.
Hey, God.
Wait. It is his suit that does all this, right? The guy is just a man.
Cakes. Yeah. Whether he's just a man or he's not just a man, the bottom line is the storyline has dropped him. It's like Batman. You can take a bullet, shoot him, he's dead. But you don't drop Batman to somebody that's not on his level. Why would you bring this guy in here and have him be dragging fisticuffs with Ant-Man?
Question. Right.
Hey, God.
Yeah.
So, I have a question. So the post screens, we saw all the other versions of him, right?
Yeah.
So this one that died, he's supposed to be the worst one of them all, right?
Is he dead?
Now, if they've killed him, that would be one of the dumbest things that Marvel has done in their life. So he's not dead. I think that post-credit scene just shows that he's not, right? Yeah. So he's probably not. But as far as the movie is concerned, he's dead in the movie.
He better not be dead.
Okay, and he's wrecked. He was brushed Okay, he was completely
destroyed.
battered, and his
lost
goals
absolutely.
were short. Whatever was done to him was done against his will. He didn't plan it. He didn't set it in motion. He got uppercutted and punched in the face, not only by Ant-Man, but by his whiny daughter and a lot of other different things, one after another. It's ridiculous.
I hated the daughter. I hated that rousing speech. I hated
before we get to the daughter, because the daughter deserves our own section for hatred.
Okay.
I still want to talk about Kang, because he's still annoying me a lot. Like this is the one movie where it's okay to have your main character lose. Like, if that's what I was saying, the ending would have been fine. If this at the end they all lost and this guy won in every way measurable, maybe they escaped back to the realm. But you make it clear that Kang won, and that come out from this movie,
absolutely.
Now it sets up the villain, because we already fear him, and then we are having Ant-Man of all people, the least Avenger, beating Kang, the guy that is going to collect all the other heroes. Then we now have the Council of Kang, which makes it matters even worse, because now we've seen Kang lose twice. One to the most useless Loki possible, and then now to
Loki.
Did it look
okay? Basically, what they're trying to tell us is that we're just going to have this guy, and we're going to have millions of them, and we're probably even going to have a film where they're just going to be killing them left and right. Maybe they'll be shooting them bang, 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 and they'll be falling down like dominoes.
There's a trope called the conservation of ninjutsu, where when you have one bad guy, the bad guy is very strong. When you have 10,000 bad guys, they are basically minions. So showing us 10,000 Kangs just diminishes their threats, in my view. They are no longer a big threat. They're just going to be threats that everybody from Miss Marvel to Pew will be shooting on the street and beating.
Miss Marvel should be punched, she'll be juggling them and be with her embiggened arms and be making MCU jokes. That's what's going to be happening.
Today you make a really good point. It would have been better if at the end of the movie. So at the end of the movie, what basically happens is for anyone who's still listening, Ant-Man and Kang get into a physical altercation, and then Hope comes back, helps him. They defeat Kang, come back to their realm from the quantum realm, and Kang gets sucked into this time vortex thing. And we don't know we guess we're supposed to believe that he's dead, but we know he's not dead. And what Tunde was saying, if I'm correct, Tunde, is that it would have been good if the Ant family got back to Earth, but Kang got his time engine space orb thing and still got that. I agree with you. That would have been really good than them defeating his plan or his scheme and escaping back to Earth. That was too cheap. Even
if they got back to Earth and he still got his orb, it doesn't change the fact that he got absolutely jobbed.
No, not jobbed. No, not jobbed. More like they escaped.
Completely battered. In order for it to work, and in order for the villain to retain his mystique, you need to be able to show that this is an unbeatable villain and make people watching think, how do you beat this guy? Maybe we escape by the skin of our teeth, but maybe you escape because he lets you escape. But how do you beat this guy? But this one, we know how you beat this guy. Just deck him in the face, when his suit is not working. It's just John Majors. It's just Jonathan Majors. What's the problem?
Well, I have a question.
This was my prediction of how the movie would end. How the movie would end halfway through the movie. It was that when Kang started mentioning, "Oh, you are a thief, blah, 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 steal this thing for me." I figured that the end was going to be a heist by Ant-Man. He's going to play a trick to escape by the skin of his teeth. Maybe somebody would die. Maybe he gets left behind. He sacrifices himself to get his family off the...
I thought he would sacrifice himself.
Yeah, he will make a sacrificial place to get his family off. And
it really did look like they were about to go the sacrifice route. It really did look like that was going to happen. Like he was going to realize, because there was a scene where he said, "I don't need to win. I just need both of us to lose." It looked like things were going to go very differently, and then he makes himself lose, but somehow Kang doesn't lose, and we have a really, really grim ending. And then the other things too, like if you have a character who's a master of time, Someone who basically promises you that he can take you to the moment you left your daughter behind. He can take you back in the time and put you there. Who tried to bribe Ant-Man by telling him that he can give him what he wants, time. And then that whole thing was just swept away by Ant-Man saying, no, I will never do it for you. Okay, then I will crush your daughter if you don't do it for me. Very, very daft. When you put those things into a movie that's in the quantum realm and that's all about time and space, you imagine that this guy must be playing these people somehow. He's put them on a particular timeline and he's doing things. Maybe he reveals later on that, no, we've done this 200 times and I'm trying different things each time. So that's why I didn't just kill you at this point. I wanted to leave you alive so maybe you could get that for me. So that's why I didn't try to go get the orb myself.
All
that is just...
here's the question for that Wale. So, all the Kang variants have or versions have the same temperament?
No. Their temperaments are very different.
So, if the temperaments are very different, how do we know we've seen the worst one?
So here's the thing, right? It's very possible that this guy is just some random Kang, but he is introduced as the Conqueror. He is introduced as Kang. We see him with the iconic outfit, which, by the way, was very, very excellent and well done. Then there's all the gravitas. And there's what I said earlier on about how well Jonathan Majors played the character. That sort of narcissistic thing where he's this very likable guy. He looks like he's really concerned for you. He explains to you why what he's doing is for the best. Why the timelines are going crazy. He's the only one that knows what to do. He's the only one that knows the right thing to do. Why won't you just listen to me? Why are you so stupid? Why don't you know what's good for you? In fact, I'll even kill you. That's his shtick, and he does it so well, and it's chilling. If you're telling me now that that's just a random Kang variant that we're just going to kill off, it's like, why did you even bother doing that? What does that tell me? Does that tell me you're going to bring more of them later on, and you're going to just be killing them? So it's either this is the Kang, or the alternative is really, really bad.
Yeah, but I just why would we assume that this one is dead? I mean, there's nothing.
I don't think he's dead. I don't think he's dead because whenever the bad guy dies in that weird way where he gets sucked into,
he's gone somewhere else. Yes,
he's just gone somewhere else. Maybe he's gone to another movie and something else is going to happen. But the reason I don't like it is in this movie he gets dropped. His plan doesn't work. His plan fails. His army is destroyed by a bunch of raggedy.
Okay, so what happened?
But to Red's question of why is the worst, he made mention that it was sent here by the council or
it was exiled. Yes,
by the council of Kang. So the council of Kang sent him here.
No, he didn't say that. He didn't use the term council of Kang.
Where did you ask the question?
He said his name was Kang. He said he was sent here by the others. My variants.
Yeah.
So he didn't call them Kangs.
Go on, Red. You wanted to say something?
Yeah, I'm just hoping for things that they could possibly do with Phase 5 if we get Fantastic Four. I don't know. I'm hoping for a council of reeds and
so
that's just me.
That would be nice. Yes, that would be. I think they to be honest, for me personally, they've cheapened it already with the Council of Kangs. So it's been cheapened. The one thing, okay, so let's talk about stuff that we did like before we go deep into stuff, particular things we didn't like. I thought the costume still worked well. I thought the CG was decent. I really liked Hank Pym in this one. He felt kind of capable. I would have liked if he had died in this, if he had sacrificed himself. Because that bit where the ants come back and stuff, I would have really liked if he was like, look, you know what, you guys go, I'm going to stay here.
That scene with Hank Pym and the ants, it felt like it came from a much better film. A much better film that where things like quantum time dilation and so on were part of the story as you would expect. And even the visual of him with the ants, the idea of the ants becoming super intelligent. And even sort of remembering him and keeping him as some sort of God figure that one day will come back and so on and so forth. All that seemed like it came from a different film that is not this film and is better than this film.
I felt like they injected too much. This one was a little bit of a Hodiak Shrunk the Kids /
Yep.
road trip movie, family road trip movie. I mean,
Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Exactly. That's what this is. It's just a shrinking gag. That was what it was.
Yeah.
That's why I said it was a Saturday morning cartoon. And because it's a Saturday morning cartoon, that's why the villain cannot win. That's why we have the Gen Z telling somebody, don't be a dickhead. And that's how they solve that problem.
That was just so dense. It's just like, oh, don't be a dickhead. And then bam, problem solved. What?
Yeah. So because it's that kind of movie, that's the kind of tone they are going for in the movie. That's why they are able to do all these things and get, oh, this is why they are doing this thing. It's not bad, but that's why they are doing it.
I never got a sense of consequences in the film at all. At no point did I actually feel any danger for any of them.
There was really no danger. I mean, I'll tell you the things I liked. Okay, go on, Cakes.
Even when an organism that's designed for killing is chasing her, a girl who has no combat experience as far as we know.
I hate the jokes.
I mean, and she was dodging him and avoiding, and I'm like, how is this happening?
Yeah, the jokes are really bad. But look, hold on. So, Cakes,
this wasn't a funny film. Yeah.
Cakes, you said we should talk about things that we actually liked. So let's just try, because you're talking about things I think were terrible. There's so many, and I think there are a few more. But the things that I liked, so first of all, the thing that you mentioned.
The costumes are not possible.
So yeah, what's his name? I've already said this. Jonathan Major's performance as Kang, incredible, amazing, does not belong in this movie. Makes it even worse that he was jobbed so badly. It's so stupid. That Gen Z moment where he's making the speech and then the daughter takes over, that particular scene.
I'm talking about something that we don't like.
Again. Yes. If that scene had not been interrupted in that stupid way, it was one of the things that was probably on the way to saving the movie, making it more, giving it a bit more gravitas, giving it a bit more power. The costume, the Kang costume and everything, loved it. Absolutely loved it. Then another thing, what's his name? Hank Pym himself. For most of the movie, kind of meh, just this grumpy old man character. But the whole thing with the ants and all that, like I said, that was something that seemed to have come from another movie that's better than this movie. Let me see. And now I'm beginning to run out of things that I like.
I mean, the quantum realm itself, we didn't get to see too much of, and I say that because I mean we didn't see beyond. It felt like there was a forest bit.
So the problem I have problems. So I have problems with the quantum realm.
We are still on things we like.
Yeah, if we go to the quantum realm, that's things I hate. So I really can't really talk about it. Okay, I think something else that I like is Paul Rudd. He played it almost like he's a Valerian character, sort of like a character that in a way doesn't really belong in this wacky sci-fi world that he's been thrown into, but is just kind of trying to make his way through this crazy, stupid world to do something mundane that's just based on sort of the love of his daughter, right? And because the actor plays it in such an earnest fashion, it works and it's nice, you know. It's just like you're just constantly reminded that, oh my god, this is not the movie. It's almost like he's been isekai'd into this stupid film. And the scene where the probability storm is happening, and they're all the variants of him, and they're arguing and everything, and then they realize that they have to do something to save their daughter, and then they all become sort of unified in purpose because of their sort of like love for their daughter. All the variants at that point no longer care that they're variants anymore. They know they're variants. They know they're going to die, but they're like, if I have to die for my daughter to survive, I will. You know, and that scene was great. And the fact that Paul Rudd had to play all those parts, I'm sure he didn't play them all. I'm sure there was some AI trickery that created some of them. Definitely. But it was impressive to see. It was a great visual. It was something to see, and I liked that very much. So those were the things that I kind of liked about it. There were some aspects of the action that I thought were shot well. The thing where they get big and they get small very quickly and they hit things. It's just that unfortunately you couldn't really enjoy it because some of the fight scenes were unnecessary. We have a character that you've literally shown can defeat these people with a flick of his wrist, and then he's doing Hadouken.
I kind of honestly I kind of liked it. I liked it, and I liked the fight that he had with
yeah.
When we're talking about the action, I like the fight that he had with Wasp and
it was visually great to watch. It's just that when you're watching it, the sort of if you have a Rick and Morty brain in your head, you just kind of know that this doesn't happen. This doesn't happen. He does this and they stop.
Yeah, of course.
That's what really happens. So what are we watching? So it was. You switch off your brain, you enjoy it, but otherwise, yeah.
I'll jump in here because you mentioned Rick and Morty again. And one of the writers of this movie actually worked on Rick and Morty as a writer as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Jeff Loveness. He also, what's this thing called? He has done some comic book writing, and I think I've liked some of his issues.
They probably frustrated the guy to hell in the writer's room. Yeah. They probably deleted everything he wrote. They probably
but you guys, come on. We're talking about it's the same way. You might have a great comic book writer, but the person cannot write a screenplay. This happens. You can have people that write good books, but can't even write a screenplay for a movie. It happens. It's not that easy to transport.
The ideas we like in this movie, like the probability storm and Antman and Wasp appearing in multiple places. You immediately see that you think Rick and Morty. The time dilation with the ant, you see that you think Rick and Morty. That kind of, how would I put it now? That the kind of skill that you take to
outside thinking. Yeah,
exactly. You write that. You don't come in and you give us the ending bit. That ending bit.
No, he would come and he did. That was probably him. He'll come and do his bit, and then some of the other like standard MCU writers will write their own bit. Oh no, there has to be like a bish fight at the end. They'll be like, what? But why? No, that's the way we do it. That's the MCU. There has to be like a fight.
That's the committee bit that when Wally's talking about committee bit, I feel is
okay. Seed.
On things I liked, the guy and those little flashes of brilliance, the time dilation, the probability.
Yeah, that was nice.
Those little touches of world building here and there in the quantum realm. I liked it. And
Dr. Anjao asked the question.
Yeah.
He said Rick versus Kang. Who takes it? I think Rick. Rick is just mad enough to go and kill Kang's great grandfather just to ensure that he's that great.
Kang should have been Rick. Wally had a great suggestion for where the entire movie was just Kang reversing time and playing over the different scenarios for them. If they've done that. But he
didn't have the thing, the orb then.
But then that becomes Tom Cruise's Edge of Tomorrow, right?
Yeah, he didn't even have the time thing then. It was just the suits that he had at the time. So I don't think he actually could access any time controls or whatever. Anyway, stuff that we like. Something popped in my head now, and I completely and it skipped out again. Stuff we like. I liked Hope Van Dyne. I really, really liked her, and it felt in this movie that it was an Antman and the Wasp film. It didn't feel like it was just an Antman film because they both had separate adventures. They got together, and she felt like his partner. Yeah, it didn't feel like she was a sidekick or anything, or an afterthought. So I really liked that. Yeah, she had a prominent role in this film. But there's also one thing I want to ask. Evangeline Lilly, I don't think she and Paul Rudd have kissed in any of the Ant-Man films.
Oh, you saw that scene as well, where they're supposed
to. I clocked it today because I wasn't sure if they're partners or they are lovers.
They are lovers, right?
Yeah, we're supposed to. Yeah, but they don't. They've never kissed in any of the three movies.
What does that matter?
They're acting as lovers over a trilogy, 3 films of approximately 2 hours each, and you guys haven't kissed in any?
This is a kids' movie. Maybe that's the.
Are you serious? Really? Steve Rogers kissed now?
That's not a kids' movie now. Ant-Man is a very family. Take your 5-year-old child to.
Wait, what do you mean by it's not? It's like so. Are you talking about the age rating?
Probably. This is probably.
No, I mean,
I'm just going off my
I mean,
feeling.
You know they kiss in the Disney movies, cartoons.
Since when?
Yeah. No,
Did you not watch Little Mermaid?
all the happily ever after scene when they get to the end is always
Yeah, that's true. Oh, but I'm just trying to explain it to you, but yeah, that was weird.
It was. It's 3 films now, but okay.
I
On
have a
to question. Which one should they have featured Kang in Loki season 2 instead?
I have an answer for that. What was the question? Should they have featured Kang in
Should they
Loki
have featured Kang in Loki season 2 instead? That's a good one, Olawale.
No, they shouldn't be doing Loki at all. That's the answer.
That's the answer.
There should be no Loki. They shouldn't be doing
that. Agree.
That is the answer. Loki should not
You know what?
exist.
Loki should not exist, but in the universe that Loki does exist, if we talk about, can we talk about the post-credit scene?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So Oluwale, sorry, there's a sorry, that ball fell and hit his head on the controls, clearly. Anyway, did you start the recording again? He looks shocked. It looks like he doesn't know what's going on.
Recording started, right? Yeah.
Okay, I don't even know if it started. Anyway, in the second post-credit scene,
yeah,
it's a scene it's a prologue scene from Loki.
It's a Loki, yeah. It's a Loki scene.
Yeah.
Where Loki and Morbius are in the past somewhere because of the way they are dressed, clearly.
It's 10th century America.
Oh yeah, it looks like it's in the state. What century did you say it was?
18th. It was 1890 something.
Okay.
Yeah, they were trying to. It was selling. Was it selling electricity or something?
He was either selling or he was giving us a talk, like a TED talk.
Comedy tech talk type, yeah.
Yeah, old-timey tech talk, exactly, about time, and it was a variant of Kang who was on the stage talking about it, and Morbius and Loki are there. Morbius is like, well, he doesn't look that dangerous. Why do you say he's dangerous? And then Loki's like, this guy is like the most dangerous person we could ever meet. So he will clearly be appearing in Loki. So I don't even know if that's a thing to look forward to. But let's moving on. I think
in an alternate world, Loki would have been a great TV show, and this movie would have been a good movie, and would have been really looking forward to more time shenanigans. But
really good. More shit in this was Murdoch.
Okay. The good side is I like that Darren was Murdoch. I like that it was squeezed. That
was good thinking. That was
really good thinking from them.
Yes.
Every other thing, from when he opens his mouth, is just shit. You could have played off the disability that, is coping. Is a coping mechanism. That he's trying this Murdoch personality as a way of coping with his old trauma and everything. But then the resolution of don't be a dickhead just throws that into the basket. It's just bad.
So Murdoch is very funny because even in the comic books, when you see him, it's a very difficult concept to transcribe into live action, right? It's a huge head and small hands and small arms and small feet, no torso. It's very difficult, and unfortunately, the CG in the movie, it just didn't help at all. I think they gave up at some point because it looks like CG. It looks half finished. I don't know quite how to explain it. It looks like it's like a superimposed face, and I get the impression that they just at some point they were just like, look, there's no way we can make this believable. Just stick his face on there and let's just roll with it because it doesn't look like it belongs at all. The CG is quite poor, and I was very disappointed in the way he's designed for killing, and he's chasing Cassie up and down. And Cassie is someone, from our understanding, hasn't been in a combat situation before, right? And she's evading him, and she ends up defeating him basically. And it was very.
But Cakes, Murdoch is a joke character,
So
but they led us to believe that he was a killing machine.
So beyond the joke, that's another problem. I particularly hate singular come to Jesus moments in movies where it's just that one phrase, one sentence. It
I will
happens
change your life.
over and over again. And we saw it in Eternals. I mean, you've
Yeah.
had all this time to be bad, and somebody just gives you a phrase and like, oh, okay, maybe
Yeah.
I was wrong. And then
Maybe I'll go against everything I've been
And then
doing all these
everything
years. Yeah.
Before we go on, we have some comments.
Okay.
Dr. Ajao is saying maybe the actors have a clause. That's referring to why Evangeline and this person haven't kissed. And then what's
I
it called?
suspect that's the case. I actually suspect that's the case. Yeah.
There's another comment saying the daughter calls Hank Grandpa Hank. And yeah, like Grandpa Rick, and that might be the situation there as well. Yeah.
Okay.
And
Yeah, that makes sense.
Analogy makes a comment that Loki is one of the people's favorite MCU show. And I think that's a fair point.
Yes.
That's a very fair point for that.
It's very, very, it's extremely highly rated.
We can't explain it.
Because
it's an anomaly.
I'm coming to accept that one of the most fairest judges of quality is how many people like a show, and not just what a select people are, what a select people say. So I'm coming to accept it doesn't just appeal to us. As we are elitist snobs now.
So I will ask Daniel the question. Yeah. Daniel, did you enjoy it? Did you enjoy Loki? And I don't mean it in an aggressive way, but it's just a question like, did you enjoy it? So I actually haven't met anyone who really liked it. I just haven't. So it would be great to actually have a conversation with someone.
You remember the Loki show, right? When now they have those timelines and you have that single branch that just goes. Loki is
it belongs to that branch.
We can't explain what's causing it, but there's just some people just like it. I mean, it's getting good ratings, but it just
it's got amazing ratings.
Nobody can explain.
We still talked about it.
Nobody can explain to you why they like it. Point out Loki dodging asteroids and whatever falling from the sky. They'll be like, oh no.
Still, you guys.
Let's not talk about Loki.
All the technicalities to be entertained.
Let's not talk about Loki. So
before we continue, one more comment again. Dr. Ajao is talking about MODOK going on about how his heart wasn't really in the killing anymore, and you could tell that from earlier on in the movie, and that's why.
Why I couldn't tell that. I couldn't tell.
Where earlier on could you tell from the movie? Where McCarthy was killing.
I couldn't tell.
We could tell that he's suffering under Kang with the way Kang was bossing him around and almost killing him.
But that is the life of a henchman.
Yeah.
That's the life of the henchman. You've been killing people all this while because I don't know. He was a dick. This is someone who was such a dick in Antman 1 that he went to Scott Lang's family home and threatened to kill his daughter, who was 8.
What are we trying to turn MODOK into? Crime free man every time he kills.
I mean, if you watch the I think it was FX or Hulu, the MODOK series for one season that Pat Oswalt did, amazingly funny. It's stop motion. Yeah,
I never saw that.
Oh, it's very funny. It's really, 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 really. It's a family show. It's a family show. It's not action. He's working against AIM. But yeah, another thing. But it's very, very funny. It's
very good. It's actually very good.
Very nice. Yeah. He has a daughter. He has a son. The daughter is like him. Like she has a big head and small arms, and the son is regular and normal.
I think they were trying to go for that tone with this MODOK. And they were trying to marry it to what originally came with Darren, and they couldn't just get that tone right.
It didn't land. It didn't land.
I responded to you.
Okay.
Like Loki.
Okay.
So you've met someone that actually liked Loki.
That's fair enough. Okay. Thank you, Daniel. I'll take that on board. I know people do like it. I've just first time. So other things that we didn't like in this, or other stuff that was crap. I'll be honest, guys. Michelle Pfeiffer was not good in this. I got the impression that she doesn't quite know how to act with the green screen or blue screen. Yeah, she was just out of place. Like her acting, even, and then the character. Okay, we've arrived in the quantum realm, and I'm shielding you guys from someone that's trying to find you, and you guys are like, "What's going on? What's going on?" I'm like, "Shh, don't worry, just follow me. I'm like. Just tell them that take 2 minutes
Once
to
you
give them
ignore the
the exposition.
gaping stupidity of
Yeah.
her not telling them in the real world, once you ignore that, let's ignore that for a minute.
Okay, I know I could have said that was trauma from the like.
Yeah,
She went through something. She doesn't want to. It's like Vietnam. People that go through Nam or like the Korean War, they don't want to talk about it. Like, okay, what happens in Nam stays in Nam.
yeah.
But you're here now, and this is threatening their lives,
Yeah.
and you can't even take the time.
I think at that point, she was doing everything she can not to talk about it. Like, she's trying to get them out of it without having to talk about her history with Kang. She only talks about Kang when it becomes inevitable that she's going to meet him. So it's not really believable because she could have just said in the beginning that, oh, see, there's something dangerous in the quantum realm. We are not going there. Don't mention it.
Exactly.
She didn't. So that once you ignore that logic hole, the idea that she doesn't want to talk about it, and I think it's fair. She's trying to push away because how do you now start explaining this?
Remember that in the last film, she actually helped them send signals into the quantum realm. Just so you know that it's more than just a plot hole.
In Antman 2 and Avengers.
No, I think Avengers. I think it was in Avengers. In Ant-Man 2 was when they found her, right?
Yeah.
So it's like she's already helping them send signals into the quantum realm. And then now all of a sudden, don't send signals into the quantum realm. We just say it's bad writing, basically. It's just bad plotting. So it doesn't really diminish the character. It's an incredibly stupid thing for her not to have told them anything at all. It's just daft. But what can we do? They needed to make the film.
Okay. So I think for me, she was just not it. She wasn't up to scratch. She didn't feel organic to the franchise the way Hank Pym or Michael Douglas did. And then Cassie, absolutely terrible character, very entitled child. Almost making demands. Like that is a very, and no offense to any Gen Zs out there, but I mean the ones who think that they can I don't know whether to say it's no sense of responsibility, but you're like, oh, you should be going, and they're telling people who have suffered to say, oh, you should be going out there and doing more. But this man has lost 5 years of his life. He's been in jail for Cap. He's done all these things, and you all want to say, oh, what are you doing now? You're writing books and you're going for book readings and book signings. I was like, this is such a bratty thing to say.
That pissed me off. But that is also believable. Like, I can actually see a kid of a superhero talking like that. You've been raised because obviously he's not going to tell them the worst of it. The kid,
no.
He's going to sugarcoat the stories, and then she's going to go up with this entitled mentality that, oh, we're supposed to save the world. Even right now, without having parents for superheroes, we see our children go up saying, oh, we're supposed to save the world. Why didn't you guys do better? You guys
are more.
Not exactly. Why didn't you do more?
Why
you guys are for the ways you acted. So it's a very believable attitude.
Okay. You're right.
Annoying. Really
it just
annoying.
makes her such an annoying character. Like Kate Bishop, I'm like, this girl is what, 17, 18?
Yeah.
Right? And she is programming signals into the quantum realm, and we're getting the impression that this girl is like a super genius or something. Am I wrong?
Yep, she's a super genius.
In quantum realm.
In quantum realm. She's a prodigy. Prodigy in quantum realm. Tutored by Hank.
They are introducing these young Avengers type characters now, these new heroes, the next generation of heroes, and they can be quite unlikable for me personally. I mean, Kamala Khan, I know you guys like her. I do not like her in Miss Marvel at all.
That's what likes her.
You know what, Cakes? I actually tried to watch Miss Marvel again, and I think I see things from you. I think we were kind of carried away when watching it the first time around. Okay. Trying to watch it a second time, I'm like, I can't really stand this.
I'll say this
and the proliferation of prodigies. Now it's so easy to make your own Iron Man suit in a shed, to make your own Ant-Man suit in a basement without your dad knowing that you are actually making it. To in fact,
they should make it herself for
lazy writing. They said, oh, well, okay, no, she built the transducer transmitter thing, right? Or was it the suit that she built? I don't know.
I think
No,
they
it was
gave
the satellite thing. I think that actually works because she didn't build it herself. She built it with Hank and Hope
yeah.
together. So it wasn't
Yeah.
a solo project for her.
Well,
Oh, you forgot that they actually made it. They actually said it for avoidance of doubt. They were like, your daughter built a so and so and so in the basement by herself.
They cleared it up. It was with their help. That was something we were all working on.
That was just
They cleared that up. That was just for like, you did it. The child was working on this. I actually like that part of it.
Papa, sorry.
Yeah, they mentioned she built the transmitter. They made it very clear that she didn't work alone on it, that Hank and Hope were helping her with it.
I agree, but because of the control that she was like, oh, sending the signals, oh yeah, we're building this. Like it just felt like she was so familiar with it, and clearly when she reopened the portal at the end, she was the one who did it, not Hank.
I know. I'm saying that she's working. She's a prodigy, quite all right, but she's not doing all of these things on her own in a garage sale all by herself. She had mentors to help that made it a bit more digestible for me.
A little bit more digestible, but yeah, she was just snotty. And then at the end, she gives a speech to the people of the quantum realm, asking them to rise up against the Overlord and the Iron Fist of Kang.
Yeah.
It's about as believable as Meghan Markle giving a speech to people in Nigeria to say, rise up against the Nigerian tyranny. Somebody that has no idea of your struggle. So now come and start giving a speech and say, and then you guys are like, yeah, what she say makes sense. Let's go and fight. I'm like, oh my God, that was a terrible, by any standard rise up speech.
And I think Marvel is getting to a problem with this, with the ways they are introducing their next generation.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
Because they are all hyper competent people, flawless people. We are not seeing them struggle. We are just seeing them get to the level of our established heroes without the struggles those heroes had to go through. And it's
annoying.
Yeah.
It's annoying. She doesn't even know, like, that speech would not convince me to get out of bed.
That's the kind of speech I go back into bed for.
It was so unconvincing.
Okay. Before we continue, we have some questions.
Okay.
How did Ant-Man's daughter go to jail, seeing how she transitioned from Ant-Man 1 to Endgame? She was in jail for protesting, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, she protested. Yeah.
Typical behavior.
Just cause.
Yeah, all these protests, So she was ticking that box for what's this thing called?
Yeah, she was just being a rebel. There was a homeless protest, and then I think the cops were getting rid of the homeless people, and then she shrank up out.
I think people impacted by the snap.
The blip. The snap. Yeah, exactly.
There's an ongoing discussion in the comments about how someone is really complaining about how she was giving her own suit, how ridiculous that is.
It is.
We agree.
Yeah.
There's no argument.
We all agree with that.
It is ridiculous. To be fair, to defend it, her grandfather is the inventor of the suit. So he made one for her, but I still think it's stupid. I mean, I agree. Trust me, I agree. I mean, I mean, these pimp particles are everywhere now, it seems. You know, I mean, well, to be fair, what's his name? Hawkeye had them in his arrows, but it was just silly. Yes, Dad, I've got mine, and God, she's annoying.
So question, right? Now that we're not going to do any legwork for the film and assume that Kang didn't go to get the orb himself because he was running time experiments, he clearly didn't go get the orb because he couldn't.
Yeah.
Why do we think he couldn't? Like, what was he lacking that made it impossible for him to get it?
He couldn't shrink enough. He couldn't shrink enough.
So he needed pin particles, right? So when a stupid girl shows up in a stupid costume with pin particles and her stupid father, and he does flick of the wrist and they're both frozen in midair, Why doesn't he just take the pin particles from them and go do it himself?
Does he not have
That
to-
is, to be fair, well, Wale, that is like, so let's say he has two pin particles now, right? He has the one from Scott and he has the one from Cassie. So rather than take it and then what's that word? Risk his own life to try to do it. Take someone who's already a bona fide thief, ask him to go do it. If the guy dies, I still have Cassie's pin particles to try again with some other option. So it actually kind of makes sense. Like, why go for it himself when
That actually makes more sense considering how.
Why not send his minions to go get it?
those guys are so stupid? I want to
No,
talk
I
about these
mean-
guys.
No, but that makes a lot of sense. Well, let me explain why. Because of how this guy gets it, Paul gets it in the movie. He had to, all his variants had to want the exact same thing at the exact same time. That we all want to save our daughter. We all want to work together to save our daughter.
I'm sure all the cats.
So
want-
basically,
all his
basically,
variants want that.
what we're establishing is that Kang was just too shit to successfully get it. That he would have
it's
been
not shit. I think
he would have been wrecked
no,
by
no,
the
no.
probability storm.
No.
He
No.
didn't have
Yeah,
a
it would have been
solution
wrecked
for
by
it.
the probability storm. Yeah,
He didn't have
I
a
agree
solution
with that.
for it.
No,
And
no.
in his infinite wisdom and genius that he used to destroy many timelines and
Yes.
kill all the Avengers, he
Yeah.
couldn't figure it out.
Yes,
That's
love
what
conquers
we're-
all.
No,
This is a
no.
love conquers all plot thing.
No. I don't agree with that one. I don't agree with that one, Wale. I don't agree with that one. Because why risk his own life when he could send someone who is a thief to go steal it? Like,
Why send literally the person who is your adversary, who shouldn't actually get access to it, to go and get it?
can't do anything with it. He couldn't do anything with it. There was nothing that Scott could do with the orb. Scott had to bring it back. Like, even if Scott took it away, there was nothing he could do with it. So yeah, that one that's okay. That's not too bad.
I understand. I love the visual of the scene where love conquers all and he saves the day, but I still don't get how this amazing genius, the only plan he had was to take this guy and say, "Oh, you're a thief. Go into this swirling vortex of probability with zero knowledge of physics and get this thing for me. Because you're a thief, somehow you get it." It doesn't make any sense to me that would be the
There are
case.
a lot of,
You know,
for me,
if
I
you-
think there are a couple of things I was mentioned now. One, what's his name? Paul has an history of working with these particles, at least based on his knowledge from what he knows from Darren. Paul already knows how to work with the particles. We've not seen him work with the pin particles in any way or form before. And two, we know Kang's variants are all opposing each other. I'm 100% sure him going into that particular field would have variants with different ideas of how to do it.
Of how to achieve it.
Yeah, exactly. Even Paul himself that wanted to save his daughter, until it became clear to him, all his variants were doing different things entirely. Nobody was working together.
Well,
Up until the
you know
very
that you know those variants are not really like TVA style variants. Those variants are just like probabilities. So it wouldn't have been all the
Why take the risk?
we was Kang
It's
and
it's
the
an
rest of
unnecessary
them.
risk
It would have
to
been
deal- Because if I was Kang in that situation, I wouldn't want to go in myself. I wouldn't want to take the risk of going in
Yeah,
creating
and having
variants.
anything happen to me.
But
I
yeah,
thought
I
it was
mean,
about the dead.
why doesn't he just kill them, take the pin particles, and then make loads of different robots? Well, reverse engineer the pin particles, get like 10,000 stack of them, and then start making robots to go in and use the pin particles. In fact, why doesn't he take them, kill them, clone them, and then brainwash the clones to go in one after another and try and get them? I'm just telling you that the fact that he had to come up with this daft plan is another level of jobbing to a supposedly super intelligent character that is supposedly so smart that he can take out the entire universe and take out all the Avengers. Like, you can't tell me that him just getting the pin particles alone is not enough to say that now he's going to get those things, you know, and that he has to now take such a risk and send this unproven thief in with only one chance to get it.
Well,
if he fails, he
it's
dies,
not
and we lose
It's
all
not,
the
it's not just
No, you
one
don't
chance.
lose all the pin particles because you still have the pin particles with Cassie.
You still have the pin particles.
That's what I'm saying. That there were two.
Oh no,
pin
it's
particles
just
that
that's
they had.
just two chances. I mean,
It still has
if you're the
multiple chances.
almighty, all-knowing king of the universe, how do you not hedge your bets even better?
You are with
Two
Cassidy,
chances.
You
Okay.
kill off if he kills off Paul, he still has what's her name again? Evangeline Lilly, Michelle Pfeiffer, and Hank out there.
I think
who wants to rescue Cassie. So it's like, why take that risk at all? You have all these people that you can still leverage against.
Anyway, to be fair,
Yes.
even though I still think it is one of the stupidest parts of the film, one of the least Rick and Morty-esque aspects of the film. If it was a Rick and Morty film, at that moment, Rick would have immediately done what I just said. Now, just be like, all right, yeah, I got those things. Now you're dead, get lost. And then he would have just said, why did you kill him? It's like, I can make 1,000 clones of him. Why do you think I'll keep him around? You know, that kind of a thing where it's dumb. I understand that, but it's not so bad because at the end of the day, his plan doesn't fail because he did that.
Doesn't fail.
He still easily gets the orb from them, right? That which brings us to another thing. Why doesn't he just
kill them at that point?
Turn them all to mush, take the orb, walk away.
Now you're describing the plot of the next how it should have ended for Antman.
Yes,
this is the things.
Because there were several bits where, I mean, why did he even feel he had to take Michelle Pfeiffer with him? There was no reason to do that. Like, there was no reason to stop, take her back to your base, talk to her about what you're trying to do, and then do it while she's there. There was no reason. Like,
every bad guy likes someone to talk to and monologue to, someone that can listen and understand. And come on, look at the company he has there. Is MODOK? Is it MODOK is going to be having conversations?
So between MODOK and his and Kang's stormtroopers, I think some of those
stormtroopers.
Dominus character. At first, I thought they were robots.
Oh God, they're just the worst.
They are
worst
terrible.
Minions. How do you take over universes with those minions for fuck's
sake? It's robots.
Sorry, they were not. No, I thought they were at first. I thought they were robots.
Are they human?
Yeah, they're humanoid because when they get punched, when Casey punches them, they go, "Oh, ow!" and then one of them cracks a joke about something, you know. And I'm like, now this is clearly a an audition reel, like I said before, for Star Wars, because even the bit where Kang is giving his almighty speech, it's a very Palpatine-esque type.
It looks like something that what's his name? The mini boss in
I'm trying to remember,
Force Awakens. I've forgotten his name. Yeah, Domhnall Gleeson's character. I've totally forgotten his name, unfortunately. Such a forgettable character, but it sounds like something he would do. And that brings me to something else. The whole thing looked like a discount Mandalorian set, especially when they were in that.
They were in formation
in the cantina, in the restaurant. It was all like you were watching, I don't know, Obi-Wan, or you were watching Solo, and you had all the squiggly aliens. It was all just like, this is discount Star Wars. It was so blatant and also so misplaced. They're going into the quantum realm. What our imagination, I mean, they're going into a subatomic world that is based on becoming so small that you go below the realm of reality. And what do we get? Oh, it's just like you went to another planet in space and there's squiggly aliens running around being squiggly, and humanoid human beings walking around also being human. It was what?
Yeah.
Why are these things?
It was a bit of a letdown.
Why does everyone who goes into this world end up in the same place? You know, when this should be so tiny that if you're just 1 centimeter away from where last you shrunk yourself, you should pretty much be going to a completely different galaxy.
Yeah.
You know, like how dumb. You just have to leave your brain at the door. Like,
it's quantum physics.
Quantum realm equals Star Wars ripoff. The end.
Guys,
okay.
Before we continue, I want to read out some of the comments from our listeners. Kex, don't let it get to your head, but someone thinks you're a wise man. I don't know why they would think that.
Who was that person? Who's that person?
It was bidding me for some weird reason.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Bless you.
This person also mentioned that Kang is the worst variant, is the lamest one. We all agree with that.
You know what the thing is? Sorry, just a little bit here. Now, at the end of this movie, sorry guys, we're going to spoil it. At the end, the first post-credit scene has some of the like three main variants of Kang together having a conversation in a room. So it's Ramatot, Immortus, and one other one that I don't recognize. Now, this is my challenge with Kang. I have always struggled with what his end game is. I've always struggled with Kang between his whether it's his connection to Richards, whether it is Iron Lad. I've always kind of struggled with the variants of Kang. I've just, so when this happened, I was just like, I felt, I recognized them, but I didn't feel anything. I didn't feel any real sense of dread. And like Tunde said, the dread is actually diluted the more variants of him that you have. I'm like, okay, so who's the main one I should be scared of now? Is it Ramatot? Sorry?
I say Immortus.
Is it Immortus? Exactly. Who am I really supposed to be scared of now? So it's a bit frustrating. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he's the lamest. I wouldn't be surprised. Okay, sorry, go on.
So more comment. Apparently the audience agrees with Wale's take that it's a plot convenience. The idea that Kang couldn't get it himself. That for a guy who could build time traveling up, he couldn't find another way. Yeah, I kind of see where they're coming from with that.
Yeah. Maybe he's
It was a
tried.
plot convenience because someone needed to find a way of shoehorning Ant-Man and heists into what should have been a completely different story in a completely different Marvel property.
Yeah.
There's also another comment about how Wanda would destroy this variant of like that's not even a fair fight.
Like it's not without even thinking she would waste him.
Yeah.
I have a quick thing here that Red might have noticed. The Kang variants where they were appearing, they were all coming out of Doom's time platform.
Yep.
You notice which was the same one that Reed Richards
came out of
in Multiverse of Madness.
That was why I asked, are we gonna get a council of Reeds?
Oh, okay, that was why you said that. It would have been nice, but I mean, Council of Kangs has kind of lamed it up. Even the Pantheon itself has made all these groups, gatherings of powerful people lame. Sorry, today. Yes. Anything else?
So some more comments. And from Daniel, like I think they could have attempted an original way of writing films where you don't win with beer combat, where it's not that determines the end of the film.
I agree.
Marvel should learn going forward.
A quick point to that. So Disney owns Star Wars, Marvel, and everything. Can't they just borrow something like they did with Andor, where you can write some intrigue without them necessarily fighting?
I have a comment on that.
There's one thing to keep in mind, though, Red. Sorry, Tunde.
Yeah.
To keep in mind, Andor is one of the worst performing Star Wars shows.
Yep.
While Obi-Wan is one of the best performing Star Wars shows. So if you're running a show, if it's accountants are running a show, somehow I think that might not actually work. I do think that Andor is one of the best Star Wars shows I've seen. But
I definitely think that Obi-Wan is Obi-Wan is on Boba Fett level of that.
Okay, so I have a comment on that, and maybe we'll take a time out next week or something to talk about Star Wars and Andor. One of the biggest Star Wars fan I know said it doesn't like Andor at all. Why? Because Andor shows the things you ignore about Star Wars, shows the things you don't want to know about Star Wars. It makes, what's this thing called? It makes the plays.
Troopers.
Like all these things, all those details that make everything you're watching about Star Wars horrific. Like
we're going to annoy Dapo shortly because what you've done for me is opened up a can of worms. We can talk for an hour.
I don't want us to discuss that today,
but we can't discuss it now. We can't discuss it now.
So let's not open that can of worms.
I'll discuss it another time.
Yeah, let me go back to reading some of the comments we have. One of the biggest pet peeves of Kang let me say this is. Okay, let me read the comments properly. My biggest pet peeve wasn't the jobbing of Kang, but the one-dimensional, do you know who I am?
You know that Emilio Con nonsense that that Kang did was made even worse because after he finished telling us, do you know who I am? Do you know how many times I've killed Thor? How many times I've killed Captain Marvel? How many times I've killed Captain America? How many times I've killed Iron Man? I've killed all the Avengers. You, Ant-Man, I just did this. You were dead. Do you know how many times I've done that? Ant-Man now battered him. What?
But I actually like that.
Yeah. I hope our election on Saturday ends up in the same way.
What was that? I missed that.
Sorry, Red. Wait, Red. Why did you say you liked it?
Yeah.
I think it was more Jonathan Majors. The way there's some gravitas with which he believes what he's saying. He's believable as a bad guy.
Yes. But the thing is,
has this perplexed look.
Question, guys. Do you believe that they will not fuck up Fantastic Four after watching this?
I'm not so sure anymore. I mean, I hope not, but I can't. I mean, they fucked up Love and Thunder. There's nothing is sacred anymore. I'm sorry.
I'm more protective of the X-Men property than Fantastic Four. I've never really been a Fantastic Four person, apart from the Hickman one.
They will not fuck up Fantastic Four. They will fuck up Doom. They will get the family dynamics of the Fantastic Four right. The science in Fantastic Four has always been wibbly-wobbly.
Highly wibbly. The wibbliest of the wobbliest.
Exactly. So
I don't mind wibbly-wobbly science. I really don't mind it. I'm okay. I like the current rule set that they've made for their variants now. It's fine. It's not scientifically it's not scientifically sound. I don't care. What I hate is when you take something that doesn't belong in a particular storyline and you put it in that storyline. If you're telling us a quantum time travel story, tell us a quantum time travel story. Don't give us Star Wars. Don't randomly give us Star Wars and say, well, let's just, they went to Star Wars. If you go small enough, you go to Star Wars. And it's the same cantina you go to every time.
That was my problem with the movie.
Okay. So anything else?
I think I've covered most of it. Okay. Some comments on the Fantastic Four thing that people are praying they do not fuck it up, and some people are saying they will definitely fuck it up, and
some people are praying that they will fuck it up.
They do not fuck it up. Someone is saying they would definitely do it, and Daniel is saying Fantastic Four is just going to be like Ant-Man. So yes,
I know he only wish bad things for.
I hope not. But now
then there's one more comment about why MCU had been careful to make us care about the villain's point of view before. Now we are back to Scooby-Doo. I disagree. We've never really cared about the villain's point of view until Thanos, and Thanos was a madman. So the villains has never been MCU's strong suit.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Can we do a quick rundown of the villains? And Dapo can rejoin for this one. A quick rundown of the villains that we've had. A quick rundown of the villains that we've had in the MCU. It doesn't have to be in order. So that, but we're doing a quick rundown of the villains that we've had in the MCU because someone in the comments said that Marvel have done a good job of making us care about the villains' POV. So we start with, who was the first one? The first one was Stain.
Obadiah Stane.
Obadiah Stane, yeah, Ironmonger. Then we've had Thor was forget the order. Loki. It's less caring about his POV, but more caring about the character. Very charming. So Loki's a win.
Yeah.
Red Skull.
The Red Skull, not really. I mean, he's a Nazi. I mean, you can't. You can't really.
I mean, they didn't do
Iron Man 2. What's that? Whiplash? No.
Nope. Yep.
One of the horror ones.
Thunderbolt.
Who?
Thunderbolt. General Ross. Abomination.
Oh, you're looking at
Abomination.
I
like him.
I liked him.
I liked him until they put him in She-Hulk.
No, nobody asked you about that. Nobody asked you. Keep quiet.
Then you gave shit. Bad guys. Iron Man 3 was Adrian.
Nope, that was terrible.
Killian.
Killian,
that.
AIM, that was bad.
Yeah.
We've only had two thus far.
2 was this person,
Malekith.
Yeah.
Oh, that was one of the worst. One of the
Eccleston.
worst.
Yeah.
Bad.
What's this thing called? Winter Soldier. Bucky.
Ho, 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 ho.
That's number 3. Bucky, number
Bucky was
3.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Guardians of the Galaxy. I can't even remember what the villain was in the first one.
Oh
It
well,
was
sorry,
Ronan.
Ronan, but he was a placeholder. He was nothing.
Bad.
He was
Ronan
nothing.
bad.
Age of Ultron. Not really.
No. Okay, so can I say something about that one? I actually think he did something interesting with it, but I think Ultron. But compared to the Ultron from the comic, the menace was divided by 10.
I'm gonna put Ultron in.
Was divided by 100.
No, but the menace. So let's say I didn't know Ultron at all,
Yeah.
and I watched that.
Yeah.
I would think, oh, this is a great, interesting character.
Yeah. I'll put
But
Ultron.
I know Ultron from the comic,
He's a
and
baddie.
the menace of Ultron is up there. It's Thanos level.
Yeah.
So
Thank
with that
you.
view in my mind, I saw it as a kind of almost a miss, personally.
I'll put Ultron.
Okay.
Okay, so
I
you're
think
putting
James
Ultron
Spader's voice was really good for Ultron.
Okay.
Kind of had charm and charisma.
Yeah.
Nobody
We've had-
cares about Darren from Ant-Man.
Not at all. Not at all. Not at all.
Zemo from Civil War. Yes.
I would add
Yes.
him.
Yes. Yes.
Fine.
Yeah. Doctor
Uh,
Strange. Nope.
Caecilius, no.
No. Guardians of the Galaxy 2. Ego. Nope.
No, not strong enough. Not strong enough.
Yeah, I thought it's okay.
It
Is
was
it-
just
okay.
it was just a rant. It was
It's
just
a that
it was
issue.
just a rant. It was just a
Forgettable.
rant.
Forgettable.
Unforgettable.
Yeah.
Vulture in Spider-Man.
Yes.
Oh yes.
Yes.
A win.
Top 3.
We're bringing in Sony.
Okay. Then.
Oh, sorry. What do you mean?
Ragnarok.
It's
MCU.
MCU. You're right. It's
Ragnarok
MCU.
in Ella and Ragnarok. Did you guys
Who?
care about her?
Hella. Yeah, she was alright. I think she was alright. The fact that she
was more sexy
was
than
she was
actually compelling.
yeah.
Yeah.
I
Killmonger.
think
She's not in the 6.
Remember, Killmonger was pretty much the
Oh.
best villain before Thanos just showed up. So
Eric.
let's
Yes.
not join the internet in sort of like trying their best to denigrate Killmonger because of
Eric
Thanos.
Killmonger. Yeah.
He was the best MCU villain before Thanos came along.
Was he better than Loki?
no, it wasn't.
Absolutely,
I prefer
he
him
was
to-
No.
better than Loki.
Better than-
Yeah, but overall, look is highly more rated than Killmonger was great.
I think Loki.
No,
Loki
Loki was pretty one note in Avengers. Let's be honest.
Okay.
Honestly.
Loki was charming
Tangents.
as a villain.
Chat tangents. So we got what? We got Killmonger. That's 7.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
That's not bad.
So-
The rest is Captain Marvel and Far From Home.
What's Captain Marvel? What's that? Is that a film or what?
Yeah.
Who
Far From
who
Home
who
was
was the villain in Captain Marvel?
Mysterio.
It was the Supreme Intelligence. Not.
Yeah,
And what's that British actor?
Quite.
Yeah.
He had a cute name. Jude Law.
Jude Law. Yeah, sorry. Yeah. Sorry.
That's someone now. That's
So you
someone.
somebody mentioned the other Spider-Man movies.
Yeah, Mysterio.
Mysterio was there.
Yeah. Mysterio was good. Yeah, Mysterio was good.
It was good.
Okay. Then the rubbish.
Right.
Start from
Can I say something here?
Black Widow.
Right, I'm gonna make a statement. I'm gonna make a statement here
Yeah.
because you mentioned Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Spider-Man took villains, some that were already good in the Sony films, brought them in, kept them good. Some that were absolutely trash in Sony, made them better in No Way Home.
And some that were trash remain trash, like Lizard.
And one that okay. So to be fair, one that was actually good
And
in
2 are
Sony
trash.
was slightly trash in this one. I thought Sandman
Sandman.
went backwards. Yeah, I think it's actually worse.
And Lizard were bad. Yeah.
I think Lizard was bad as he was in the first one anyway. I didn't like Lizard.
Yeah. Okay, so their track record isn't bad. I'd say what 8, 9.
Yeah. So
Agatha was also kind of good. Do we
Who?
have good villains in the TV shows?
Agatha was let's not talk about Agatha.
right, yeah. So some people have been listing some of the TV shows.
Yeah.
We're talking about movies, so I don't want
That's a
to
good-
mix it up a bit.
That's a-
Agatha, nah.
Agatha was-
Moon Knight, no. Like, let's not go there.
Agatha wasn't good though.
I don't think there was a good villain in.
Sorry, Kex. Are you speaking or are you coughing?
Agatha,
Did I hear you say Agatha is not good?
Agatha was trash.
My
That
friend,
let's
please
not go
pack.
there. Agatha is not good. Please go and see
Agatha
that.
I don't want to derail the discussion, so I'm not surrendering, but I'll stop talking.
Okay, but like for Phase 4, we don't have really good villains from Black Widow, Shang-Chi, Eternals.
Oh, wait, stop rushing.
And she didn't have a good villain.
Wait. No, today does this thing. He want to use rushing to also agree. It doesn't want to give us time to think about it. Black Widow, trash. I agree.
Yeah.
Totally. Shang-Chi, that guy was good. You cannot say the Mandarin Shang-Chi was not good.
Yeah.
So this DC hate of yours, please pack.
One of top 5.
Yes.
Top 5.
Top 5 what?
What was the next one?
To this top, he was that good.
It wasn't that good, please.
He was that good. He was that good.
Yeah, Who was good. Who was good.
Okay.
Eternals, nah.
Who was Eternals?
Eternals is actually one of the worst. It was
What was it?
There was the Superman guy and the
something. No, it was it wasn't not the Alpha. It was the
What's her name?
Eternals versus the Changing People. What they called?
Oh, the Deviants. Yeah. Okay, forget that one. Let's move on.
It was Groot, the leader of the Deviants. It was voiced by Bill Skarsgård.
Yeah.
Very bad. Very bad.
Yeah.
I bet you none of you can tell me how he died.
I can't remember now.
I do.
How?
In the cave or something like that.
Superman, yeah. Oh yeah,
No.
and ripped him apart.
So they got it. He was killed by Tina. She sliced him apart.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
It was an off-screen fight.
I remember. In the cave.
Inconsequential. Yeah, in the cave.
In the end, the real villain of Eternals wasn't those people. They were not even villains.
Yeah, it wasn't.
Yeah. Right. Okay. What other films in Phase 4?
Let me go again. Then there's
No Way Home.
Wanda was good.
Oh,
Yeah.
awesome. Awesome. She's had the best build up of a villain.
Number 10.
Yeah.
She was very good.
Wonder was good.
Yeah. Then there's Love and Thunder and there's Nemo for Namor for.
So are we? Well, I guess he's in villain mode at the moment. We're saying Namor is technically still a villain at the moment in the MCU, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So it was good.
It was all right.
Yeah, it was good.
I think we can definitely squash that narrative because it has changed it for me.
Which one?
He has terrible villains. They are bad at
To be honest, I think that's been squashed ages ago. It's not even a new squashing. I think there was an issue where they were killing off the villains very quickly.
That's the problem.
That's the problem. One film, you're done.
And they are really good. A lot of these guys are really good top actors that you're bringing in, and either they're just doing rubbish voice work, or you're covering them in prosthetics, and we're not getting to see any face acting, or you're putting them in stupid films like Love and Thunder. Where how could you put Christian Bale and ask him to do that? I mean,
can we not talk about this?
You're right.
Let's move on. That the trauma of that is too much, please.
Okay, let's move on. So that's kind of rounding up for what we had, right? So what is the box office currently for Antman?
The weekend box office was 120 million. It did better than what's this thing called? It did better than Ant-Man 1 and 2. But it's doing really poorly in China. So
they released it in China.
No, it was released in China, but it did really poorly.
Still poorly. Oh gosh. Yeah. Okay. So how familiar? Is this going to make 500?
No, worldwide. It was already, last time I checked, which was yesterday, it was already at 360 something, almost 370. Okay. Worldwide. Yeah.
Oh.
So I don't know where it is today.
So I'm
not sure. He won something.
No, I think he was talking about America.
Was the opening weekend, like
opening
the
weekend,
and all of that was 120. So it's doing well for a movie. I'm waiting to see this weekend to see how much of a drop it's going to have, because it has a B score in cinema score. So
and there's no and here we don't have any holidays coming up.
Yeah. So we'll see this weekend. This weekend will be a true test of his staying power box office. Yeah.
Okay. And remember, we've still got our predictions. I'm starting at 650.
Yeah, I think between our predictions is fair. That is way off. Nobody is never going to get to 1 billion. That's not even possible. That's and one thing I think I've accepted in that in this day and age, movies are not going to be getting that. Like I mentioned why a few weeks ago, because of the advent of streaming. people that will go and see it multiple times to just see a movie once, and that's it.
Yeah.
So
I think I think the multiple viewing is the one that's gone. It's the first thing that's gone.
Yeah.
You know, why would you watch it multiple times when you can watch it? You watch it once in cinema, and then you wait for Disney.
Yeah.
And some people will not even watch it once. Those are the ones who say they heard a review to go, you know what, I'll wait 45 days.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough. Anything else you want to cover on this one, or should we wrap it up, guys?
I think we should. Well, that's up to you guys. I
What
don't
next week? That will.
Right, next week is special, guys.
Is it?
And it's special. We have our own Tiwantiwa, our people from Naija, who are now top tier Marvel writers.
Yes.
They will be writing the Iron Man comic from March going forwards. So I'm talking about Murewa and Dotun. They will be joining us, and so Murewa is the writer, Dotun's the artist on Iron Man, and I think they're even relaunching Iron Man to trailblazers in March with these guys. I mean, to me, these guys are living the dream I had when I was a kid. Back in Nigeria, running around Ibadan, in my shorts. And for a podcast called NaijaGeekingOut, can you get any better guest than a Naija guy writing for one of the top geek properties in the world?
Yeah.
So we're having so they will be our guests on Monday. So we'll record on Monday. Hopefully the episode should be out by Tuesday.
Okay.
Podcast, the normal channels. But yes, I'm really looking forward to this.
Likewise.
People, guys, if you're listening, please, if you got any questions for these guys, write in.
Please, yes.
And yes. I also want to say, even though the Marvel thing to me is exciting, these guys have done a lot of other work. They've got work that you can go and read online. Some of it is free, some you can buy. They are quite good, a good team. I like the art and I like the writing, and they are our people. Yeah. So why not?
I think I mentioned a few weeks ago, I've been collecting their books whenever I get the chance. And it's one of the books I still have and go through a lot because collectible comic, that's what they were doing before. It was really good. It's up there with some of the best works that have come out from Nigeria. So yeah.
Okay.
It's very exciting. As in, I couldn't be more proud of them. It's
listen now, Naija to the world. I love that phrase.
It is not what called. I would like some people that will be writing grasshopper up and down.
Oh my god.
Today, please.
I cannot let that go.
Today, we are live. Don't start violence.
Proper representation where I will not be ashamed to read the book. Yes.
I mean, to be fair,
everybody knows.
As if you do.
Well, to be fair, Tucci,
Onyebuchi.
Yeah,
he does some really good work.
He's been doing good work on Captain America. Great work.
Yes.
So you have to balance that one out with the grasshopper issue.
Okay. Before we go, someone made a prediction on the chat for the movies, 750 million by Steels. You can add that up there to the list.
Add that to the list. If he wins the contest, we might drop him something.
Okay. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, so for the rest of you guys, drop in your predictions. I think we can drop in something for the closest.
Yeah, the closest, yeah.
Yes, actually do that on the Facebook or Instagram.
Or even on the comments on the video.
Twitter. Or the video comments, yes. Yeah. So note them down, and whoever is closest is going to get a free hoodie.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. From NaijaGeekingOut. Okay. Time to wrap it up, guys. Thank you all so much for listening. Remember to rate, like, subscribe on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and now YouTube, apparently. What do you know? Subscribe, like, whatever. Thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it, guys. Red, take it away.
I don't always have to go first.
Always. I
can just echo what Keck said. Well, that was a good 2 hours. I can't wait to talk
unpack more stuff.
And Dotun next week. So see you guys next week. Rate, like, subscribe.
Awesome.
Yeah, guys.
It's enough. Oh, yeah,
I was confused for a moment. Like,
Oh my god.
oh, yeah, talk. Sorry.
Disney is winning, please. We are looking forward to the future of good movies. We will be managing these Marvel movies for now until they get
Shazam is coming out to.
We're rooting for Flash.
Shazam is coming. Don't worry.
Yeah, Flash is coming.
No, Shazam is coming.
Flash is coming.
Shazam is coming. Oh, what's that?
What's that one? That's Kingdom. That's Alex Ross.
No, Alex Ross or Power of Hope.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a good one.
Yeah.
You
I
can't
don't
miss
know that.
That was a good Shazam book.
Yeah, it is. Sorry.
Too late. You already said yes. Wale.
Sayonara, guys, and see you next time.
Yeah, that one.
And thank you guys for listening. See you later.
Kex, you didn't see anything.
I did. I like, subscribe, and thank them.
Okay,
Thanks,
let's stop recording.